Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be doing an unhaul, and if you notice I'm in a different filming location. This is like the first of my videos that I'm filming at our new house location. I don't know if this will be the first that you guys see, but if you notice it's a little bit of a different location. We're just in our new house, but in amongst moving all of my books, I had my books still at my parents' house, or like most of my books at my parents' house. So in amongst moving my books that were here, I did kind of a big purge of books that I no longer want, and I was kind of fairly strict with myself because I was like, some of the books like I may have enjoyed a little bit, but like I don't see the way I want my bookshelves to reflect the books that I really love. And if it's a book that I'm not going to go back and reread, I think that's kind of where I kind of determined if it would be kind of going or not, if I would keep it. But yeah, I don't know how many books I have here. I have a good amount, so that is exciting. I'll be taking this to Half Price Books in a couple weeks, which is exciting. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So just kind of starting off a little bit easy, I have two books here. I have like the movie tie-in edition of Me Before You and Lost Roses, and the reason why I'm getting rid of these two books is just I have duplicates. I have like the original version. I don't know why I have this version in particular, even though I already had the book to begin with, but this is just a duplicate, and then I also have a hardback version of this one, so I'll just keep the hardback. But yeah, these are just easy ones because I just have duplicates and I don't need to. Next up I have The Saints of Swallow Hill by Donna Everhart, and I don't know, this one just doesn't seem interesting. I think I got this for Christmas, but I don't know if it's something that I want to read or feel interested in, so I'm just gonna quickly get rid of this one. Next I have Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This is a book that I do plan to read, and I tried to read like the first 10 pages or so, but I just couldn't get into it. But my fiance has a like hardback copy of this one, so we don't need to amongst the two of us. So again, this is another one where it was like a duplicate. So yeah, need to make room for on my shelf for some of the other books. Next up I have The Henna Artist by Elka Joshi, and this is a book that my aunt recommended me getting, but I did pick up a copy, but I don't think I'm really interested in reading this one. It does sound interesting, but I don't think it's one that I will see myself reading or picking up. Next up, again, this is another duplicate, and it is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby DeRay. Again, this is another one that I got a duplicate of. I got this for Christmas actually, and I already have a copy, so again, I don't need two copies of this book. I did really enjoy it, but again, I don't need two copies. Next up, I have Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. This is a book that I listened to on audiobook a few times, and I think just like from reading this, I don't think I necessarily really enjoy Mindy Kaling. Like, I do like The Office, but I don't think I really like her writing style in here. So again, this is one, again, I want to keep the books on my shelves that I really enjoy, and this was not really one of them. Next up, I have Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. This was like part of their like DC like alternative stories that came out a while ago, and again, I did enjoy this at the time, but again, I don't think it's one that I would reach for, and I'd rather it go to a home where someone would really enjoy it. Next up, I have Stronger by Jeff Bowman. This is about the man that lost both of his legs in the Boston Marathon bombing, and although I did really like this book, I don't think it would be, again, one that I would pick up, or if I wanted to, I could just get it from the library, so this is why this one is going. Next up, I have First Frost by Sarah Addison Allen. I do really love her other books, but this was like a sequel to one that I read a really long time ago, and I don't see myself ever picking up. I think like the first book ended on a good note, so I didn't think the sequel was really necessary, so that's why I'm going to get rid of this one. Next up, I have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I do really love her Brown Sisters trilogy. I really like that, but this is kind of more YA teenager focused book, which I couldn't really relate to a lot of things. Like, I did find, you know, parts of it to be like cute, but I couldn't really relate to that characters again because I'm not, you know, 16 or 17 years old anymore. So a lot of the stuff that these characters are going through, I couldn't really relate. So this was a book that I just didn't really enjoy as much as her other works. So again, don't really want to hold on to this one. Next, I have All the Ways We Said Goodbye by a bunch of different authors here at the bottom. This is a book that I read, and it was like a fairly okay World War II historical fiction. And I think it also covers, yeah, World War I as well. But I just thought it wasn't really memorable, and I don't see myself picking it up again anytime soon, so I'd rather it go to a nicer home. Next up, I have The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornick. And again, this is a book that I read a long time ago, or a couple years ago actually, and it was like okay. It was a very bizarre, like Nordic retelling, and there were parts of this that I really enjoyed and parts of it that I didn't, but again, it's not one that I would see myself ever wanting to pick up again. It was a little bit too weird for me, so again, I don't think I would see myself picking this up, so hence why it's in this unhaul. These two are kind of like sad ones that I'm a little bit sad to depart with just because I really love this author, but I have Playing with Fire and The Shape of Night by Tess Garrison. I really love her Recieve and I series. That's what really got me into kind of the crime, murder, mystery kind of genre, but this one in particular, or like these two, I didn't really enjoy as much, and so I'm a little bit sad to let these ones go, but like I said, I don't see myself ever picking this up again. Like I reread the Recieve and I series, really enjoyed all of them, but these ones I don't see myself ever picking up or wanting to reread again. Next up, I have Still Life by Sarah Widman. This is a book that I DNF'd recently, and it was just one that I just couldn't get into. One of the things that really bothers me was the stylistic choice that this author did, where they don't put quotations for character dialogue, and it was to the point where it was like really confusing if I didn't know if it was character talking, if it was like the narrator talking to us, and it was just too hard to decipher, and it was very slow going. There were parts of this that I really enjoyed, but I just ultimately ended up DNFing it, and definitely just because of that, I don't see myself ever trying to pick this up again and trying to kind of go through that thing where it's like trying to figure out who's saying what. So very confusing, so I don't know why people do that stylistic choice, so this was one that I DNF'd and don't want to pick up. Next, I have When the Stars Go Dark by Paula McLean. This is again another one that I read, and it was just like a 3-star read. It wasn't bad, but there wasn't great either, so again, not one that I see myself picking up. There are parts of it that I really enjoyed, but there was kind of this murder mystery, and I didn't really like how this author kind of like tied into a real life murder mystery, and I felt like it was not done in a way that was really respectful of, you know, the parents and people that are family members that are still alive today. So I didn't really like how that was handled, and there was like a supernatural element or like fantastical element tied in, and I didn't feel like it didn't feel really realistic, and it took away from the story. So again, not one that I would want to read again. Next, I have 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Noah Harari. This is a book that I recently listened to on audiobook, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I didn't find it very engaging. I found it really repetitive, and I didn't find anything to be novel or profound about this book and some of the topics that he talked about. It was like, in my opinion, very, very redundant, and I don't see myself picking this one up again. And lastly, these are two books that I don't even know why I own, but I have Find Momo Coast to Coast, which is kind of just like a bunch of pictures where you have to find the dog in amongst them, and then The Doggist, which talks about like different types of dogs. These are more like coffee table books, and I don't know, coffee table books aren't really our style, so I'd rather give this to a better home. So I just did a final count, and this is 20 books total, so that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick unhaul. Like I said, moving and then deciding which books and only having a certain amount of space on my shelf has really made me motivated to really kind of go through and just, I want my shelves to represent me, so I feel very good kind of getting rid of these books to make room for more books on my shelves. So yeah, I did kind of a bit of spring cleaning, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.